you this. As a Duke fan and a guy who's logged hundreds, if not 1,000 hours playing Duke, this game is Duke.
Really?
I was so surprised how fast it took me back to Duke and the fun that Duke was, even though all the technology was new and the graphics were great and all that other stuff. It's Duke. And the minute I realized that when I was playing it, I just realized they have a winner. I mean, the game has a tremendous amount of detail being put into it. That's how I would describe it, and that's really cool. And I think that they're going to bring. I think they're going to bring an element that we've always associated with the Duke, in terms of interactivity. I think they're going to bring that right back. But I was just struck by, oh my God, it feels like I'm playing Duke, and that's what I want from it. I don't want it to not be Duke, some sort of Duke derivative. I wanted Duke, and that's what they gave me, but with the graphics and all the features that we've come to expect today. I think the biggest thing that I saw in the whole thing was just how creative and how innovative they were in their idea behind it. So instead of trying to please you with some just technological display, they really seem to be focused on the creative aspect of this game and really sort of delivering on what Duke is, and it's a feeling. They're producing a game that elicits a feeling and a sensation that you're hoping to get, that you got in the original. And so all the interactivity and all the things that I saw all relate to sort of extruding that from a person. There have been games that I have played that have shipped, okay? that were in a less completed-like state, in my perception, than what I was dealing with down at 3D Realms. So could they, if they wanted to, wrap up the game and kind of put it out within a relatively short period of time? It seemed that was possible. However, knowing what they are doing and putting into the game and what they're bringing to the table, that is a much more difficult thing to talk about, how long that will take to accomplish at the level that they're doing it at, because it's very impressive. Mm-hmm. It's just very impressive. I'd say companies less driven would not go that distance that they're trying to go. And so, it literally, when it's done is, I think, when it's going to come out, because and when it's done, I think it's important to quantify this. When they're talking about it, they're not talking about just trying to put a game together. They could do that. They could tell you. They're trying to put together something awesome. And that's sort of a subjective thing. And George in particular is a very discriminating guy when he's looking at his own game and trying to make the best thing possible. So when it's done is when I think George and Scott and the team sort of step back and look at it and say, we've taken this the distance that we wanted to, and I think the world is ready to digest this. So it's such a subjective thing. It's certainly not in a sense of competence and their ability to just close something up and get it out. They could do that. I'm sure they could have done that a few years ago if they wanted to. But they're really, I can't stress this enough, they're making something great. Okay. I can understand, certainly they've had their issues. 12 years, the space program, we went to the moon in less time. But, it's a huge portion of this time has not gone to tomfoolery. It has gone into a very creative expression of a great game that we all remember from, however long ago. It's coming back, and that's what made me so excited about it. It really felt correct.
Perfect.